Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stump back for another OPTC video, and in today's video we're diving back into the 15-star Kizuna Clash with some updated teams with a little bit more damage for you guys to help take down this particular event. Obviously the event has now been out for 24 hours. We've been able to tweak teams and sort of finalize, not finalize, but come to a closer conclusions of what the best teams were going to look like. Now, in today's video, we are using the 10.5 anniversary characters. I am sort of excluding some other units that I think might work better, but look, we're still going to be testing and doing some more runs and stuff like that. But for now, like, this is what we're using to take down the Super Boss. Now, with all the artificial difficulty, stuff like the special bind on certain types, the attack down if you're above a 0.1 chain, and all the intimidation, interrupts, and all that captain swap blowaway shit, this Super Boss is very disheartening. I don't know what they're thinking, trying to nerf damage in a big damage event. It doesn't make any sense. There's a damage cap, which shouldn't even be there, when it's shown that we can do trillions of damage and then have a boss that has multiple trillions of damage. I don't see why they have to nerf us so we do lower runs and less run. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But look, it is what it is, and hopefully they'll rectify it in the future. Let me know what teams you guys are using in the comment section below. And while you're down there, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. With that said, let's dive on in. Alright, so starting off with the strength variation. No, it's not. It's the dex variation. Starting with the dex variation of the Super Boss. This is pretty much the same team that I put out yesterday in my initial video. It's the team that sort of put together right off the bat, and honestly, I'm pretty proud of it. It's doing quite well. I've seen it floating around the YouTube scope as well, with a couple of different creators showcasing it as well, from the Japan side of things as well as from the global side of things too. So I'm pretty proud of this one. I don't know if this is what the final team will end up looking like. I am trying some stuff with the Giants that I've sort of kind of been tweaking at. But we'll see what happens there. And all about sort of getting that end of turn damage to work in a particular way. But with this particular team, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using Toki to special bind both our Zoro Sanji and our Verse Luffy. Having the Toki ability on these two characters is going to avoid that very annoying special bind that I mentioned earlier, because on turn 2, you're actually going to get 99 turns of special bind for your quick and your dex-based characters. It's an incredibly annoying, like, debuff. It shouldn't honestly be there, but look, it is what it is. We get Despaired on this stage, Pain, there's damage reduction, whole bunch of nasty stuff here. To get around the Pain, we're utilizing the special of Roger Rabbit Bomb. We're first going to shift into Captain with them, as there is a Captain swap mechanic on this particular event as well. So we do want to actually shift our Captain, so that way we can bypass that. And once we've done that, we can use the Zoro Sanji special as well, so that way we can get everyone into Free Spirits and Slashes. Unfortunately, they won't be in their dual forms moving forward after that, but it's okay. We just need everyone to be Free Spirit and Slasher characters. We're going to finish it off with Anniversary Shanks, removing that damage reduction there, and then we can take out Mr. 1 and move on to the next stage. Ideally, what you want to do here is tap with Shanks and tap with Toki. That way you're going to remove their orbs, and you have a higher chance of landing on either a Strength or an Int orb with these particular characters. So as you can see there, we actually got a Strength orb on Shanks as well, which is really nice, because we are using the free-to-play Kizuna 5+ Brook support to manipulate some orbs. And the reason we're doing this is because we actually get a Super Block orb on the top row there. I actually brought Vivi to guarantee myself at least one orb, and then that way I can always give the orb to Roger Rally Gaban. As you can see there, I can move it off them. I kind of stuffed this up though. I was meant to move it elsewhere, but that's okay. We'll do this, and Shanks can hold that. Super Block orb for us. With the Sabo support for 2 turns of defense up removal, and then Roger Rally Gaban's going to do the rest. We're going to use the EX of Shanks to remove the 2 turns of Intimidation. Works quite nicely. We have an attack down debuff here, which we need to remove as well. So we do want to remove that with the special of Verse Luffy. We have a super class with Roger Rally Gaban. We have to stay as captain, as I mentioned, because we do want to get the defense up removal when we hit a perfect with Verse Shanks. Verse Shanks is going to give us the double conditional buff. We have 6 slashes because of the Zoro Sanji special, and Uch is going to give us a little tiny chain buff. Switch with Zoro Sanji, get yourself some tandem orbs there. Use the versatility of Luffy to increase that tiny little attack buff that we get given, and then use the Luffy special to set up another territory, as well as give us another conditional buff, increase that, and increase the chain boundary. With this, as you can see, we have an attack boost, orb boost, chain multiplier boundary, all the fun stuff there. We have a rush, we have a super tandem, and we should be able to hit fairly hard here. Now, hitting up crit with Verse Shanks is going to remove that defense up. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our Anniversary Shanks, move into our Verse Shanks, Super Tandem with Zoro, Sanji, Luffy, and then Toki, and then finish it off with Roger, Rayleigh, and Kaban. So let's do that. I actually forgot to use my ship special as well. Something to note as well, I am running the Aura Jackson level 12. The Aura Jackson level 12 actually gives you a final tap buff for 15%. So you're actually going to get a little bit more damage than what you're about to see here. The 15%, it's not massive, but with 200% stats, it's definitely going to help out. We're hitting for around 92 billion damage with that final tap there. Should be up a little bit higher because of the final tap buff of the ship. So just over about 100 billion damage, which honestly is pretty expected with all of these debuffs. Remember, the damage is getting nerfed by 75%. So if you times that 100 billion by, I don't know, whoever's a good math guy, you'll probably notice that we're looking probably around that sort of 600 billion-ish mark, 700 billion mark. Honestly, probably a little bit more if that particular debuff didn't exist, which is just absolutely crazy. Alright, moving on to the strength variation now. The team has changed quite a bit from yesterday. Now, yesterday, I just kind of threw on characters that were going to help me get the Kaido King second part of their captain ability, and then obviously Smoothie, who was getting the second part of Katakuri and Big Mom. But with this particular team now, we're running Rush Kaido as our friend captain. I was struggling yesterday because I was like, I really want to bring a Rush character. I wanted super type as well, so another super class for Powerhouse, and I wanted increased damage taken, and Kaido just sort of fit the bill fairly nicely there. I was just doing so much yesterday that my brain was sort of scrambled. But now I've sort of sat down and properly looked at it, and this is what I've put together. If you guys have Shiryu as well, you could definitely run Shiryu over Queen. I feel like that's probably going to do a little bit more damage. I'm definitely going to test it, but I'm still trying to find a way to get around all of the annoying debuffs that get inflicted. Stuff like the bind, the paralysis, the despair when you are using like the Kaido special. I think you can do it with like the Otama support on Big Mom, the Kizuna Legend one, and then if you have the support rare recruit Bonnie, you can definitely do it too. I'll probably put out a shorts a bit later when I actually run that particular variation, and I feel like it's going to do a little bit more. But the upside to this team, utilizing Queen, is we're buying into the extra buffs that Kaido and King can give us. So that's the team. Those are the supports. Let's dive on in now. The Zenesha, it's not essential. You can definitely replace the Zenesha with any other ship. I'm just using the Zenesha because it's going to give me the most amount of attack. Like, it's a 1.85 attack boost to Powerhouse characters, and this whole team is Powerhouse built, so that works out quite nicely. On turn 1, ideally, you want to make sure that your middle row characters don't have Wano slots, and what I want to try and do is get a 10 orb, sorry, not 10 orb, a Wano orb on our, okay, that sucks. We got a bunch of Semler slots here. That's okay. I ideally wanted to try and get a Wano orb on my Queen. The reason I wanted to do that is so I get the Sailor ability off, but at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal. Well, on turn 2, when we switch into Big Mom, she's going to turn those tandem orbs into Semler slots, and then we can rotate the Semler slots. We have an orb block here as well, so we're going to be able to carry those orbs into the next stage, and then we can use the versatility of Blackbeard, so that way we can just guarantee a orb on Blackbeard himself. He's going to hit the hardest. Once we break the barrier, though, it's pretty simple how much damage we have here. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. See you later. And then we can move on to the next stage. We can keep the 3-turn chain boost from Blackbeard, so don't stress if you have to, like, just don't stress that we're using it there. Once you move to the next stage, you get a 60% HP card, which triggers the Kaido Captain, which allows us to get an increased damage taken ability right off rip. There's Blowaway, there's Captain Swap, but Big Mom and Katakuri actually block that, so that works out really, really nicely. Then you get some attack down as well. To remove the attack down, I have the Luffy support, and I have the page 1 support, but if you have Bonnie, just use Bonnie on Kid Killer, and then you can run Shoot and Maru on King and King for a lot more damage. We're going to slap this EX of Kaido. That's going to make Powerhouse characters a little bit stronger. It's going to increase that increased damage taken. We're going to switch with Kid Killer. That's going to give us some extra resistance down. Not that it's going to give us that much extra damage in terms of what the resistance is providing. However, when Big Mom uses her special, the more debuffs the enemy has, or the more icons, so the icon list is at 10, the more icons that they have, the more the orb buff that is Big Mom and Katakuri is actually going to give. So once you do that, as you can see, we actually get the plus buff as well. So now they're sitting at a 3.55 orb boost or something stupid. Yeah, which is very, very good. You can use the super type of them now, so that way we can disable the captain swap, get them out of the captain slot, switch oh, wait. Was I meant to do that? No, I wasn't meant to do that. Yeah, once. Alright, so let's try this again. going back, we switched with Kid Killer. That gives us the resistance down. Then we use the Blackbeard special. We've used the EX of Kaido, and as you guys can see, we have 10 icons available on our Crocodile, so that way when we use the Big Mom and Katakuri special, we're actually going to get a bigger orb buff. Once we've done that, we can actually use the special of Kid and Killer. That should give us a chain boundary and a color affinity buff, and then we can switch out of Big Mom and Katakuri. Once we switch out of Big Mom and Katakuri, we're going to go back into Blackbeard, which now if we use a special, it's going to trigger the HP guard. If we use this Kaido special here, that's going to give us a much better conditional buff than what the Captain Shift of Kaido and King is going to give. But then you're going to cop the Paralysis, the Blind, and the Despair. So this is why we need the supports to get around these. But we don't have anything to get around the Blind, and that's okay because we can actually use the Captain Shift of Kaido and King, shift them into Captain, and then use their special to remove the Blind. Works out absolutely perfect there. Their special is going to give us the Chain Multiplicative buff. It also increases the base attack boost that Blackbeard's doing, and then that interrupt's not going to matter because Alba's immune to basically everything. Once we've done that and King and Kaido are our captain, we can use the Queen special. Queen's literally not doing anything here besides locking out orbs. However, as you can see, the color affinity and the chain boundary actually increased because Queen is part of that ability that King and Kaido have. We're going to finish it off with the superclass for Driven. We can switch out of the captain. That way Blackbeard's coming in, and now we've got our Rush ready to go. So what we're going to do here is we're going to tap with Kid Killer into Kaido, Rush with Kaido, go into Queen, Blackbeard, Super Tandem with Kaido and King, and then finish it off with the final tap of Big Mom and Katakuri. So let's get it. Oh, okay, well I missed that, so... Okay, for some reason I'm missing everything. The hell? My game's gone hella laggy. Alright, well, completely stuffed that up. But as you can see, yeah, 65 billion damage. So, look, it is what it is. Unfortunately, I did absolute goof, but it's going to wrap up the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this one. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, if you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Let's!